it live. Okay. Well, do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is a show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening live fire fun and frivolity show. Huge show planned for you this evening. If you want to jump in through phone calls and emails, here's how you do that. I don't have any idea why that's not playing at all. Why is that not playing? That's got to be right in front of me. What did I do? Not right. All right, stand by. Try this. No. Well, I'll be. Where would that be? Oh. No. That's there too. Yeah, I got nothing. All right. Screw it. We're not going to do that. We will continue on with this show. However, we can do that. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. I don't have any idea why that iPad is not kicking out sound. I am extremely frustrated with that iPad at the moment. Big show planned for you this evening. If you want to get in touch with the show, because the big voice guy is there, but you can't hear him, 216-220-0966. You can also send me an email, Greg, at thebbqcentralshow.com are the two ways to get in touch with me. So I'd love to have you if you want to jump in this evening at some point. Coming up in about 11 minutes from now, he is the first Tuesday of the month regular guest, the creator of How to Barbecue Right, the pitmaster of Killer Hog's barbecue team. That, of course, Malcolm Reed joining us here once again on the show. And just when you think we were going to have to retread new topics, let me tell you, we have some brand new stuff coming up that you're going to be excited to hear about. If you're a fan of Malcolm on the YouTube side, you're going to be doubly excited. If you're a fan of retail shopping, you're going to be triply excited. So looking forward to catching up here with Malcolm in the month of November. Also, we'll get some Thanksgiving ideas, as this will be his first and only trip around through the month, unless something magical happens at the end of the month before we get him back on. 35 past the hour, we'll find the newly minted 2020 KCBS Team of the Year pitmaster of Getting Basted. Brad Leiniger joins us, and we will talk about his big win for Team of the Year. This isn't his first go-around. He won it in 2018, so I could also say 2 out of the last 3 years Getting Basted has been KCBS Team of the Year. And if you know anything about competition barbecue, Brad is easily one of the most recognizable and consistent names within those circles. So we'll talk to Brad about how this year started and how it ended. This is the first year in recent memory that there was a much earlier end to the KCBS season. Typically, it would run all the way through December. There was a contest out there in Arizona, I believe. I don't even know if that's still in existence, that typically marked the end. There was, of course, that huge race 11 years ago that saw Darren Worth and Rod Gray and Steve Farron go all the way down right till that very end, and Rod Gray pulled it out. That was one of the more exciting KCBS Team of the Years, but there's been a handful of other ones since then, so we'll talk to Brad about that. Then we'll move to the second hour, and my other first Tuesday of the month regular guest, that, of course, Sam, the cooking guy. And boy, do we have a lot of things to talk about with Sam. We have some cookbook updates. We have some paraphernalia updates. And no, I'm not talking about that kind of paraphernalia, but I'm talking about cooking paraphernalia. And we will also talk about frying, because in a lot of his most recent videos, he has been doing a lot of frying, deep frying. We'll also talk about Meatball Wellington. Yeah, let that marinate for a second. We'll pick it up in the second hour. Hey, you following me socially? Because you should. Insta, Twitter, TikTok, and the Snappy Snaps, all at BBQ Central Show, Facebook and Twitter /BBQ Central Show. And you can get me on YouTube /RD Rempe. Literally flooded with comments about the Origin Story series that we did last month. It was so great. In fact, I can see me doing something like this once I have retired from the show, starting a new podcast and doing deep dives with the various luminaries of the barbecue and grilling industry, or as I say, the live fire industry. And I'm not going to do this forever, of course, but I wanted to give a college try to a whole different concept. And certainly there's been a lot of different interviews with all of my regular guests through the various live fire podcasts that are out there. But I don't recall the last time somebody actually dug back to when they were youths and follow them up to present day, certainly marking where their success in the live fire industry has come from, because the other idea of the whole concept was to make sure that proper respect and proper credit was given to the hard work that all of my regular guests put in getting to where they are today. And once again, I think we live in a time where you want to easily discount anybody's success as being lucky, or it just happened overnight, or I could do that too. But there's a lot of back work that a lot of people don't care to look for or track down. And that is also why I was doing those pieces with the folks that I did them with. So if you are just brand new to the show tonight, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you have no idea the names that I had just mentioned, then make sure you go back to October of 2020 and just listen to that whole month of interviews. Still have one left to do. John Solberg still owes me a origin story, but he is still dealing with some of his stuff, and we will get him when it is convenient. But everybody else is up there and ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed those as much as I did. Email from a listener. Good evening, Greg. I have to admit, it has been several months since I have listened to the show. I did get a chance to listen the other night while driving back home from work, and I have to say, it's just as good as always. It was like meeting up with an old friend. Glad in this wild world we are living in, there are several constants in the BBQ Central show. Is one of them. Keep on rocking, Jeffrey Stone from Grandpa's Pride. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. Loyal listener, Grandpa's Pride Barbecue. So I'm glad I can provide some consistency along with everything that's going on. By the way, I don't happen to know if you guys are aware tonight, there's a national election for president and other various electable seats that are going on right this very instant. There's one going on right now, if you can believe it. Fellows by the name of Joe Biden and Donald Trump are currently vying for your presidential voting, although in many areas, at least here on the East Coast and Central, is probably just tying up right now. 8 o'clock was the shutdown vote time here in Cleveland, and I would imagine that's what it is across the country, although I don't really know, I guess. So I should brush up on my civics. Back in the 7th grade, Mr. Atkinson would be having my ass right now going, how do you not know this? You learned this back in the 7th grade. So I'm sure it will be hotly contested. I'm looking at the real-time presidential results, and it is hotly contested right now, but we're only an hour in, so If you feel nervous already because your particular candidate isn't getting the votes that you feel that they should be getting, I will tell you right now, just go ahead and relax. Take in some of the Barbecue Central show to ease your mind. And we will be off the air at 11 when you can really dig in and start gripping at that point. Don't worry about it. Malcolm Reed is ready to go. We'll get to him here in a second. I will talk to you quickly about the Barbecue Guru. Always believing that outdoor cooking can be easy and fun, especially when you use Barbecue Guru cookers. A couple different models to choose from. They have a monolith ceramic cooker, if you're interested in those. They also have more of a cabinet-style cooker called the Shotgun, named after the founder of the Barbecue Guru, Shotgun Fred Perkle. Depending on which one you want, because you like ceramics, this one comes with the grill and a whole bunch of other accessories. One of the biggest knocks on a lot of the other ceramic cookers in the market today is you're getting nickeled and dimed for everything else to make the cooker efficient and useful. Monolith comes with all that stuff, the nest and the various accessories and the charcoal cane, whatever the hell you call that thing. Lots of cool stuff. And then you have the Shotgun cooker, which again is more of a cabinet style, well insulated. There have been cook times on a full load of charcoal in the neighborhood of 24 hours. I'm not kidding. You know, because they're made by the Barbecue Guru or in association with the Barbecue Guru. All of the Guru controllers fit perfectly on the Monolith or on the Shotgun. So if you already have a controller and you're just looking for a new cooker, no problem. Your controller will fit on each one. And also, with the Monolith, there's already a fan built in to the cooker, so you just have to hook up your controller to the fan, away you go. It's great stuff. Plus, they have a lot of other accessories that are going on. Great fun. Get on over to the website, bbqguru.com. If you have any questions, I highly suggest not waiting and calling, or not guessing either. Don't wait, but more importantly, don't guess. We don't want anybody to be dismayed when all this stuff shows up and you're not able to use it properly. Call first, ask the questions. They will make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. bbqguru.com or call 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. The Barbecue Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. At this very moment, your presidential results rolling in. Joe Biden at 119 electoral votes. Donald Trump at 92. Look out, folks. It's going to be a barn burner here this evening. It's like the KCBS race between Brad Leiniger and Joe Pierce from Slaps. I think Chris Schaefer from Heavy Smoke was right around that mix, but there's no third candidate for president. Can't have that. Malcolm Reed coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher's Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections and marinades and rubs and barbecue sauces and grilling oils. Butcher's Barbecue products tested on the competition circuit as well as in backyards worldwide. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood. Visit butcherbbq.com to stock up right now. Always trust your butcher. Now, being the ingenious technical wizard that I am, I will have you know I have fixed the sound effects board. How about that? You can hear them now. I'm not even going to tell you exactly what happened because, quite honestly, it's truly embarrassing, and I'm going to save myself from showing my ass here this evening. So we will race to the hotline and welcome back friend of show, Malcolm Reed. Hey, Malcolm.
What's happening, Greg?
Well, I am ready to rock. Thought I was technically tripped up here right out of the gate here in November, but when you tuck other items underneath other items, they may or may not hit the volume button and creep it all the way back to low. And I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take a look at this in between breaks here. So that's what I did, and we are off and running. Great to have you back here in the month of November as we're getting ready to close out the year. I like to say it all the way back in January, but believe it or not, 2020 rapidly coming to a close, and from all accounts, everybody loving the fact that 2020 is coming to a close as quickly as possible. We'll see what 2021 looks like. Malcolm, who are you voting for president? Do you want to reveal that on the show here this evening? Here we go.
Yes, I've got a brisket and rib sign in my yard. So
all
that's
right. The brisket and rib ticket. That's my favorite. Yeah, I don't see them on the board here, but I have to imagine.
Who wins. I'm still coming to work tomorrow. So
I know.
Really
Let me tell you something, Malcolm. I'm so glad you said that because, I'm in an industry. I sell Class A Peterbilt trucks by day, and every 4 years, regardless of who is running or who your favorite is, the refrain is the same. Well, we're going to hold off a little bit and see how this election goes. I'm like, well, what's the difference between this year and the other 3 years that we've had? You were buying right along the last 3 years, and all of a sudden, because it's an election, you're not going to buy right now like you normally would, because guess what? Tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're probably going to have to replace those trucks, or you're still going to have to think about replacing those trucks. So let's give me the order, give me the money, and let's go, baby, because daddy's got to eat. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
I don't know. I don't get it. All right. So I'm interested right off the top, Malcolm. Has anybody reached out to you over the course of the month to say, hey, heard your origin story on the Barbecue Central show and really thought it was good, or, learned a handful of things that I didn't know about you, like doing WWF wrestling in the Pizza Hut locally? I mean, that was a great story you were sharing.
No, yeah, man, I had a lot of good response from people checking it out. Appreciate the honesty. That was the big one that I got. I try to keep it real, man. That's all the way I know how to do it. So,
listening to your podcast, so this would have been like a week ago. I hear you make some new hires within the How to Barbecue Right community, or whatever is that the business name? Are you like operating under How to Barbecue Right, or is there a whole different?
We operate under How to Barbecue Right.
Okay. And perhaps, so new hire there, perhaps more importantly, you were talking about the addition of a new YouTube channel. So not only do you have the flagship channel, let's call it, of Malcolm's How to Barbecue Right that everybody has come to know and love you through, 1.09 million subscribers as of this past Sunday while I was checking. But there's a whole new channel, and you've hinted around at perhaps getting out or branching out within the YouTube space to diversify a little bit. So talk to me a little bit about the new channel, if it's fully launched yet, and what you're doing.
Well, we've recorded, I guess, 4 videos first that are getting edited now, but it's going to be more of, we're calling it Out of the Smoke. So it's not really going to be just necessarily about me at a pit giving a recipe. I got my buddy Mark Williams from Swan Life Barbecue. He's got a YouTube channel, and he come to work for me doing some wholesale stuff. And so we had some time around here to kind of brainstorm and get some ideas. And we decided to start a channel together, kind of, under the How to Barbecue Right umbrella. And we're going to talk about, reviews of different barbecue products. We may bust some myths. We may present some problems, and we try to give answers or how we would go about, solving them. With basically, it's going to be a way for, if I take our screw ups and turn it into some content that people might find interesting. So that's kind of the premise of it. We're going to, try to be laid back. It's not going to be real formal. It's going to, just 2 buddies hanging out, talking about all these cool stuff we get to do in barbecue.
When you initially come up with this, or I don't know if you or Mark pitch one or the other, or if you just start talking and organically it just seems to follow suit in conversation. But once you come to that idea, do you then say, okay, well, let's plan this out and see how these first handful of shows are going to go? I guess the question that I can't figure out how to articulate properly is, back in the old days, it was, hey, let's get on YouTube and see what the hell happens. And maybe you stick around and maybe you don't. Now, you're an established brand. Mark has an established channel. So independently, you're both very successful within the YouTube space. So there may be some type of expectation either from yourselves or the potential accumulation of viewers, both independently, which will then form together, to have some kind of style to the show. And then you as creators say, hey, we don't just want to jump in and then fizzle out in 3 episodes and then we're just done with it. So how do you go about planning a vision or a strategy to continue longer than, a couple shows? That was a long way to go to say that. Gee, I apologize for that. That was a lot of talking.
That's a little too serious for us, Greg. We're just trying to have some fun with it.
Really?
We don't know if anybody's going to watch it or not, but we know that we're just going to be cutting up on camera, trying out some stuff and trying to make some content that we find interesting. I figure our buddies will watch it. So if we can get them to watch it and give us some feedback, we'll be okay. But is it going to be another million subscriber channel? I don't know. I've actually got another one that I'm starting up too, and this one's the one I'm really excited about. It's actually my son and his buddies are going to be playing video games because they're all into watching YouTube videos and playing video games. And so we're going to set up a ESPN like sports desk and get me and another dad to just comment on our kids playing these games and try to do play-by-play and color man and all that stuff. So that's like outside the barbecue realm, but it's a way for us to hang out with our kids and them not be glued to a video game or a YouTube.
Are you adept at doing play-by-play calls of video games? Like, do you have that working knowledge?
Not at all. That's what's going to be funny about it. I have no idea. I used to play Nintendo back in the day and early PlayStation, but I hadn't played video games in a long time. I know enough about some of those old school ones. If I can get them playing some of those, maybe we can get some old guys our age to watch it.
Yeah, a little Tecmo Bowl replay or a little Contra replay. I mean, that might be worthwhile, right?
That's it. I actually bought one of those old Nintendo. It's got like 40 games built in it. I've got Michael playing some of it. He thinks it's boring, but fun.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, you see the graphics and the storylines in these games anymore, and it really puts I thought Contra was like one of the most intense game ever, as you had both the side view, and then when you got down into the tunnels, you were going north to south, and it was like, wow, this is a whole different dimension down here, and it was crazy, insane, and high intensity. You're killing a lot of things, but man, I played one time. I played Black Ops against my daughter, and she killed me 8 times inside of like what felt like 6 seconds. And I just threw the controller down. I was like, I'm out of here. And she's like, oh, you're quitting already? I said, the last 4 times, I don't even see where the hell you shot me from. So I'm just walking around blind. This is no fun, like no fun for me. So if it's no fun for me, I quit immediately. That's how I live life.
Well, this is just an early idea channel. So if I end up having an epileptic seizure or something, the new video games did it to me.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know if I can take it or not, but we're going to try to hang in there and have some fun with it.
Hey, on the products review side, because you had talked about a grill gun or a blaze gun or whatever. It was like a handheld flamethrower or whatever the hell you were talking about. In doing product reviews, how do you go about reviewing so that, or perhaps a better question is, are you purchasing stuff to avoid any, oh, you got it for free, of course you're going to like it, and you're not going to take a shit on it if you're supposed to?
That's how we've done them so far. It's like we saw this and thought it was cool, so we just ordered it.
Good.
And we've done that with the first few. I think they did send us the meter. It's like a wireless probe thermometer system thing that we've checked out. But, man, I have to say I was super impressed by that thing, man.
Really?
I would actually buy one. Yeah, it works. Wow. It's the first one that I've seen that does. Have you used it?
Well, let me tell you something. Wow. I got to be really careful because I was a guest on a couple dudes' shows from England. And, in fairness to me, like I come on as a guest and I'm a whole different cat. I'm there to entertain. I'm there to be irreverent. I'm there to push the envelope as far as you will let me. You know, this isn't me hosting. This is me being a guest and bringing value to the show from an entertainment factor. So these guys were talking up the meter. Well, they didn't tell me in advance that they had some kind of a, I wouldn't call it a sponsorship because they're not getting paid, but they're giving them some free product to test. And if that goes good, maybe some to give out and blah, blah, blah. Well, for years, Malcolm, the meter accumulated millions and millions of dollars in Kickstarter money, in Indiegogo money, and at least 2 of the 3 of my embedded correspondents got on it initially, and it took 2 years for them to even see one. We all thought it was like the biggest scam going, and there was plenty of issues, and the range was crappy, and it was like, so I got on that show, and I just took a dump all over it. Well, then he touched base with me after the fact, and they're like, hey, man, you know, like, we didn't know what to do as you were ripping the meter a new one, but I haven't, they approached me to sponsor the show, and I said, categorically, no. There's no amount of money that you can give me that will, well, maybe $1 million, but short of $1 million, there's no amount of money that you can give me because I've seen through my buddies the issues that this has had getting to market, and then once to market, not having anything better than like a Bluetooth connection, which typically blows. And they were talking about, you know, all of this accessibility and range, and conceptually, it seems to be the best thing out there because you can jam with no wires this thing in the middle of the meat, which is taking the internal temperature of the meat, and then the part that sticks out of the meat is taking the ambient pit temperature. So it's like 2 birds in 1 stone, and you're saying you love it. So I have to assume that maybe there has been a bunch of upgrades because also in the instant chat, I'm seeing I love it 2, 3, 4 different times. So I would love your review on why you love it.
Well, I didn't know any of this going into it. I just knew that Mark told me these guys have made a wireless thermometer. Do I want to, you know, would I be interested in trying out? And I was like, hell yeah. Because we're not scared to rip something apart on this thing we're doing because it's, you know, it's just our take on it anyway. But so I've used it at home. I've used it over at Mark's brother's house, Jamie's. We did a big, we cooked 100 pork butts on my old hickory rotisserie. We put 4 probes in there on the butts, and I could still pick it up from his Wi-Fi at my house and watch it at night. So that's what really sold me on it. Yep. And I was like, this is worth I think it's $250 or something like that for a 4-probe system. Now I've probably used it half dozen times, and it's worked flawlessly so far. I hadn't run out of batteries yet on it, and so it gets my, you know, would I go buy one? Yeah, now knowing what it does, I would buy one. The downside to it to me is the size of those probes. Like, it's not really useful in competition barbecue because it leaves too big a hole in the meat. But I guess to get all that technology in the thing, they had to make it in a bigger probe. Now, is that a problem if I'm cooking a bunch of pork butts or turkey or, you know, something like that? No, but if I'm trying to cook a money muscle or a chicken thigh for a contest or even a brisket flat, I don't want a big hole in it.
Do you know if for some reason it took a dump on you, one of the probes, to go buy a replacement? Any idea on cost for that?
I have no clue. I hadn't checked into that. All I know is it works for me. It worked for me so far.
Well, I mean, the only reason I ask is because one of the sponsors of my show is Fireboard, which is a product that I absolutely love, and it performs really well. It's got tremendous Wi-Fi capabilities and graphing and all this social media interaction. It's great. You know, it could be a little steep in cost, you know, $200 or whatever it is. Not necessarily that much more or less expensive than the meter that you're talking about at $250, especially if you load it out with all the 6 different probes, depending on how you configure them. But I've asked Ted Conrad, who owns the company, Meter seems to have the concept down. And this was a number of months ago, so hearing what you're saying now at least makes me feel a little bit better about talking about the meter. But I said, you know, it seems like if you guys could come up with a wireless probe, you guys would capture the market because they're just waiting for something like this to actually work well, and that's what was missing at the time. And he said there were a number of instances, or there were a number of examples why they weren't going to do it, and they looked into it 100 different times, and a lot of it boiled down to the fact of jamming that much technology into one probe, where if something did go wrong, you know, to replace something that he has right now corded is $15. but to replace something that had that much technology packed into it to do everything that it has to be was going to be considerably more expensive.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I mean, I'm glad that it does work, because I think it's going to be the forerunner. It's going to set the pace for what we're going to see coming soon from everywhere else. You know, as well as I do, people are going to knock this thing off.
Yeah.
So it can only get better. So, I mean, you know, you think of the first size computers we got, how big they were, and then what they could do now. So I think the technology, I mean, as fast as it's growing, that we'll see small probes before it's over, and probably in the near future.
Well, certainly looking forward to seeing more of that from you guys, especially because, like I said, you know, we had tracked it for years here on the show, and it was kind of a running inside joke about what a piece of crap it was on many different levels. But perhaps they've turned a corner here on this, and time will tell. Malcolm, you are mere days away from a soft opening for your retail barbecue and grilling store. So how long has that been in the planning stage, and are you ready for the soft open come Thursday?
You know, I think we've been planning it for 4 months, so not long.
Oh, wow.
No, we're not ready, but is it going to happen? Yes. I mean, Shell's up here right now trying to put labels and prices on stuff. Well, you know, we've never done retail to the public, so there's been a lot of learning. We've got some really cool stuff out there. It's all stuff that I like. And then that's the whole thing. We're calling this the Malcolm Shop at How to Barbecue Right. So it's all stuff that I use or would use, or, you know, that I think guys would like too. So if you think of it as just like a little store for men that sells grilling stuff, cooking stuff, cast iron, knives. We've even got some private parts wash in there. I don't know if I can say it. It's called Ballsy.
Nice.
I didn't even know this stuff existed until they brought it in and said, we're going to sell this in your shop. And I said, oh, okay. I thought I was doing pretty good with my Dial soap. But
is that the one that has like nut butter? Is that one of the names of the products or something like that? Yeah.
Nut rub and powder. I don't know what all it's got. That's the only stuff in there that I actually haven't tried. And I just don't know if I can.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, my wife.
I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. I've always been.
My wife got it for me for Christmas one year as a stocking stuffer. My wife got it me for Christmas, I think, a year or two ago. And after the initial shock, because, you know, first thing I was like, oh, somebody's trying to tell me something here, and this is the nice way to do it. I mean, you know, it's a little different, you know, putting your fingers in the nut rub and then lubing up the twig and berries. But I mean, I guess, you know, it works for those that are going to be in that area to figure out if you're rank or not. So, you know, I
didn't know we were going to go there tonight, though. Did you, when you prep for the show?
You know what I say? No expectations, and then you're not disappointed or anything. It's just the way we're going. Is this going to be mostly retail in Hernando, or are you going to be online as well? Or where do you expect most of the revenue to be generated?
This is just all Hernando local. It's really just something for, you know, we had some extra room up in the front of our new building, and we figured that, you know, we're going to be having some public come in here for stuff. Why not have a little gift shop? And so it's kind of turned into a man store, you know, Malcolm store, you know. I don't know if we'll sell much there or not. I do have a couple different grills that I'm going to have in there, and, you know, just some cool stuff.
We've chatted about a lot of nonsense that I didn't anticipate, as you were just alluding to, but do you have any specific things you're going to be doing for Thanksgiving? Or are you a pretty traditional guy?
Oh, man, it's always smoked turkey and spiral sliced ham, double smoked. I keep it pretty simple. I don't do anything real crazy. Shell usually handles all the sides. My number one sides chick. And I do the meats.
Anything dessert favorite?
You know, it's always pecan pie around Thanksgiving. Yeah. I mean, we do the sweet potato. We call it sweet potato casserole. Some people call it sweet potato souffle, but you know, that's kind of a dessert too. But pecan pie is always a big one.
Well, it sounds great, and looking forward to how the soft open of the store goes on Thursday. We'll get a recap of that in December, as we'll be jam-packed into the holidays at that point, and hopefully making the press there. So, Malcolm, always appreciate the time. You guys have a great Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you again in November or December.
Do the same. Do the same, my friend. Thanks, Greg.
All right, you got it. There he is, Malcolm Reed from How to Barbecue Right, and he has a retail location that is ready to go. on Thursday. So we'll see how that goes. It's a man store. And if your balls stink, he's got stuff to help your balls not stink. He said it. He said it. I've used it. That sounded weird, saying that out loud. James Acosta is in tonight. Hey, James. Ready for Brad? He's in the green room, ready to go. We'll talk about Team of the Year stuff. I'll talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills. Hey, Malcolm, you got Green Mountain Grills in that store of yours? We'll put you in touch with somebody. Jason Baker and the gang over there making some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. You have a couple different choices. You have the Prime line. So if you are somebody that really loves tech, you really like Pecan windows on the main cooking chamber and on the hopper, you like internal meat probes, all the good stuff, then you want to check out the Prime. And they also have a Prime Plus, which has a few more features and benefits. Can I interest you in indoor cooking chamber lighting? Mood lighting, maybe, for your meat? Now, if you don't need the tech, you want to save a couple $100, whatever, Choice line is what you want to run with. That's the original offering that they rolled out with a number of years ago. I have 2 Choice grills. I also have a Prime grill as well, so I can talk educatedly, not a word, on both of those styles. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up, and I will lead you down the path of the right purchase. Now, they do sell through dealers, so go to the website, find the dealer nearest you, and then go to that store, learn all about them. They will make sure that you are educated to have a successful cook right off the bat. Jim Bowie and the Daniel Boone do accommodate the pizza oven insert, so if you like the thin crust, high heat pizzas, the Neapolitan pies, then you want to get after the pizza oven insert. To me, it is a mandatory buy. If you buy the Daniel Boone or you buy the Jim Bowie, regardless of Choice or Prime, because the pizza oven fits in both, you got to get the pizza oven insert. It's like $130 or something like that. Got to get it. Pizza parties are fun, man. Of course. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. Joe Biden has 122 electoral votes. Donald Trump has 92. It is still a barn burner, folks. Too close to call. Too close to call. I'll tell you who's not too close to call. I don't even know where I'm going with it. Anyway, Brad Leiniger is coming up out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
This portion of the show being brought to you by cookandpellets.com. Just talking about Green Mountain Grills, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all of your pellet-driven cookers. Visit cookandpellets.com for more information or to purchase. You can also buy from Amazon.com as well. My next guest just wrapped up what was one of the most unique KCBS Team of the Year races in recent memory. Close, yes. Did it come down to the end? Yes. Now a 2-time KCBS Team of the Year champion. Yes. Let's go ahead and race to the hotline and welcome back the pitmaster of Getting Basted. Brad Leiniger joins me. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
Mr. Champion, first of all, congratulations on the Team of the Year win. Certainly a year that all of us won't soon forget for a myriad of reasons. You did it 2 years ago. So how does this one measure up as you compare a 2018 Team of the Year overall championship?
You know, that one was kind of a marathon, you know. I mean, I did 50 contests that year, and it was all year long, and it was a grind. And this one was kind of a sprint. You know, I cooked 9 contests in the month of October that ended up kind of, you know, against the other leading teams for Team of the Year, and it ended up sealing it. So it was very difficult emotionally, somewhat physically for all the contests we had to cook. And it was very much different than 2018, but it was very satisfying because it was all head-to-head. There was nowhere to hide because of the number of the contests. So, you know, just the fact that there was only 1 contest or 2 contests every week, we cooked head to head and there was nowhere to go. So it was a lot of fun.
Do you think that next year and perhaps years going forward, as you alluded to the 2018 of 50 contests, and traditionally when you talk about team of the year runs, whether it's Travis or you or Rod or Darren, or you name any of the past champions, especially over the last 7, 8, 9 years, it has been those that can push out 35 and 40 and 50 contests that are typically there towards the end. And as you said, that is a marathon. Given your druthers, would you rather have a sprint to KCBS Team of the Year, or would you rather have the longer marathon?
No, I loved it this year. Let's get together and let's cook. KCBS did something very good. I think they switched the Team of the Year. Not only did we get it shortened on the front side because of COVID, it got shortened on the long side because they ended the Team of the Year race here at the beginning of November, the end of October. Normally, we'd still have another 2 months left to cook. And that's when it really got difficult, because you were having to go to California, or you're having to go down to Florida, you're having to do some of this stuff. Well, we got to end the season. There was one in Kansas City. There was one, we ended up going to Virginia because it was a double, but you had the opportunity to end your season kind of at home and not doing some of those long road trips. So I think KCBS actually made a change for the better that maybe makes Team of the Year not so much of a grind in the future.
Brad Leininger joining me here on the show, the 2020 KCBS Team of the Year, just this past weekend crowned. Certainly, Brad, when mid-March rolled around, things started to change rapidly from a contest standpoint. Did you worry that there might have not been a Team of the Year race at any point, or did you have faith that there would at least be some semblance of a race, however that was going to look?
I didn't know. I don't think any better than anybody else did what the season was going to shape up like. I had won a couple of contests early, and I wasn't really planning on chasing. What I was really going for was Rib Team of the Year, because that was the only one that I hadn't won. But, I was planning on cooking a lot. And then when things got shut down there in March, I wasn't sure if we would get back to cooking or not. And June kind of rolled around, and some contests, especially in Missouri, started popping up, and we started having some. But even then, I know IBCA shut their season down. I'm sure there was talks at the KCBS office of shutting the season down. So I don't think really, until we started getting out of the summer and into the fall, that we realized that this thing was going to get finished. So it was always up in the air.
Brad, if you look over the past 5 years, aside from winning the title in 2018 that we had mentioned, your team has finished in the top 10 all of the Team of the Year races. And certainly it's not winning all of them, but given the talent of teams over those years, top 10 accomplishments, that many in a row, that's something you have to be pretty proud of too, right?
I am. We've seen some great cooks come and go in that time, and I've managed to stay up there and trade punches with all of them. So, I'm really proud of what I've been able to accomplish in barbecue and the success that we've had and the impact that we've had. Some of the things, now competitions look differently now because of some of the things that Tim Shear and I have been able to do with the hot and fast cooking and the drum smokers and stuff like that. Like, I remember going out, we were, I'd be the only one on a drum smoker. Now you go there, 3/4 of the field's on a drum smoker cooking hot and fast. So, I'm very proud of the impact that I've had on barbecue over the last 6, 7, 8 years.
I see the KCBS has added a new item in 2021, which is something that is a part of the Team of the Year race, but it is not the traditional Team of the Year race. There have been 3 separate chases that will happen through the year, and I believe it started this past Sunday, for teams that aren't going to be able to make that marathon run, as we had talked about a little earlier. So would just love your thoughts on that as somebody who has been Team of the Year twice and top 10 many times.
I think it's a good thing for KCBS to do. As somebody that chases all year, I kind of got mixed feelings, but I can see why they do it, because it is going to allow more people to cook more contests to chase and have something to play for. Instead of having to do it all year, you can kind of, maybe you're only going to cook in the summer. You can kind of run in the summer. You can run early in the part of the year. I think as long as KCBS doesn't de-emphasize the overall, season champion, it's just an augmentation of what they have. I really do think it's a good thing. It gets more people, more stuff to play for. And as you can see, like this year is a prime example. the number of teams that were in categories that were in the overall team of the year. And we had more chasers at the end of this year than we ever had. And that made the contest more fun. It made it more deep, and everybody had something to play for going down the end of the year. And I think this change allows that to happen, throughout the year. So I really do think it's going to be a good change, and it's going to be interesting to watch.
Do you think that, let's use you for example, that you're going to be like mega motivated? So, hey, Getting Based wants to go out, repeat as national champs. However, I also want to win all 3 of those chases. So you can be, the Mr. of all misters at that point.
Never even crossed my mind, Greg.
Never once? You got to be kidding. Outrageous.
Yeah, we're going to cook, man. If we got a chance to win all 3 of them and overall, man, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to compete. So if I've got a chance to win every chase and win every segment, then I'm going to go out there and do it. And you bet I'm going to give it my best shot. So I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking that way. I'm guessing Joe Pierce and, Chris Schaefer and a few of those other guys are going to be looking to do the same thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
With the folks that you're talking to when you're out there, how are they viewing next season? Do they think that it's going to be more of a return back to normal? Is it a little wait and see? Or perhaps the better question is, do you see the same amount of teams making that prototypical run for a KCBS Team of the Year in 2021?
I think a lot of people start out making the run, if that makes any sense, and then you kind of fall by the wayside depending on your success or not. I think at the beginning of the year you probably have 25 or 30 people that if things fall right and they get some wins, they'll make the chase. Now at the end of the year and a longer year, you'll probably, this year there were 4 or 5 teams up until the last couple of weeks that were in it. You had Boomerang, Rooters and Tutors, you had Heavy Smoke, you had Who Cares Barbecue, you had me, you had Joe Pierce at Slaps. We all had a legitimate chance to win this up until the last couple of weeks. I think you won't necessarily have that next year in a longer season. You'll probably get back to just having the 2 or 3 teams that run it. But I do think you're going to have a lot of teams. There are a lot of teams that we're chasing. And I think a lot of those guys are going to start out in the spring looking for it.
How do you feel the state of competition barbecue is? What needs to happen in order to continue to bring new teams in? I think, obviously, like business, the lifeblood is always great to retain the current customers, but we always have to have new business coming in to replace somebody that drops off or just add revenue to the bottom line. How do you foresee that happening in the world of competition barbecue?
I think one of the other good things that have come out of KCBS this year, and I had some input in it and getting it enacted and making it happen, are these single meat contests. I think the difficult thing with competition barbecue is always the high barrier to entry. It's intimidating, it's expensive, and it's expensive to maintain. And I think we need to knock down some of those barriers. And I think these single meat contests that KCBS has started putting on is going to allow some of these teams to come in there and test themselves against the pros without having to buy the trailers and to buy the multiple smokers and to put in, buy the $200 briskets and everything else. It gives them a chance to kind of dip their toe into the competition world and compete against the best. And some of those teams will start getting some calls in those, rib only or chicken only contests. And that's going to make them go on and want to cook a 4-meat event. So I really do think those 4-meat or those 1-meat contests that KCBS is starting to emphasize is going to be a catalyst, the next catalyst to growth in barbecue, because it lowers that barrier of entry. And it still gives us one of the things that's really cool about our, quote unquote sport, if we're going to call it that way, is that I can go out and I can cook against the best. All I got to do is pay my entry fee, show up, and I can cook against a world champion. There's not a lot of other things that can do that. These single meat contests still allow you to do that, but they're not quite as intimidating and don't take quite the investment.
Brad Leininger from Getting Based joining me here on the show. Brad, do you recall a specific time where everything just started clicking for you? The wins started becoming more consistent. The top 10 finishes started to become more consistent. Was there something that when you started, you were doing this, and you can say, hey, at this point we did this, and that's when things really started to change for the better?
Yeah, I think it's probably around, 2014, 2015 when I really started understanding the dynamics of what I was trying to do in the cook. Up until that point, I think a lot of people start out, they take a class, they're on recipes, they're on timelines, they're on, okay, this is, what I learned. This is how I win. This is what I do. And I think once you really start to understand what you're trying to accomplish, and for me, it was the drum smoker. I really started to understand that piece of equipment. That, hey, I'm really looking to get that kind of that bacon effect, I like to call it. I'm trying to sizzle that meat up. I'm trying to get that good mahogany color. Then I'm trying to wrap it up and then go to the right tenderness. When I really stopped worrying about what rubs I was putting on my meat and started worrying more about the process and about hitting that tenderness, that's when I started to have the results. And I think a lot of people get bogged down. We teach classes, we teach several classes a year, and people write down the wrong stuff. Like they write down, oh, this is the rub combination he used, but they don't go out and they don't look at the smoker and check out, like, for instance, the velocity of the smoke coming out of the stack. That tells you how fast everything's cooking or what kind of action you're getting on there. So I think when I started understanding what I was looking for and what I was trying to do as a cook, the results just started to come, and I stopped trying to kind of chase the next winning recipe. You can go out there, if you know how to cook, pick your rub, pick your sauce, as long as they're a competition proven, either one of those. As long as you understand your cooker and you're hitting tenderness, you're going to go out there and get some calls.
Brett, aside from being one of the best competition cooks out there over the last handful of years, you're also in business of barbecue, owning a couple different restaurants. So through this year, I know we've talked a handful of months ago, how are things continuing here as we look at November 2020?
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate to live in where we live, and that we didn't ever get shut down. We shut down for about, I said ever, we shut down for about 8 weeks or so. And then really, Branson and the lakes, if you probably see Better for Worse, the Lake of the Ozarks and whatnot on the national news and the parties or whatever. But man, like, people couldn't travel to Orlando or Europe or wherever they normally travel. So a lot of people were coming to the lakes in Branson. So, everybody from, Dallas area, Little Rock, St. Louis, Kansas City, Oklahoma, they were all coming into Branson, and we actually had a record summer. We had probably, I'd say, 40 to 50% takeout, which is a good thing. People were taking it in, but as far as sales go, and as far as people coming to the lake and people coming to Branson, we were very fortunate that it didn't impact our business like it has some restaurants in other areas. So we're still kind of riding high, and hopefully we can get some kind of vaccine, treatment, whatever it is, and roll into 2021 and get this COVID thing behind us, and just get back to cooking and running restaurants and doing what we love to do.
One of my guests coming up here in the second hour is just started to participate in these ghost kitchens. I talked to another guy on the West Coast who has started to really take advantage of ghost kitchens. That's something that, you're familiar with, and are you looking at that concept for growth as well?
100%. That and some virtual concepts. One of the things, I was actually just talking to my business partner before I got on the phone with you about potentially looking at like a breakfast kind of a ghost kitchen or a virtual concept in Branson, because there's really a needs to be. I mean, there's a need there for it, and we've got the kitchen. We're not using it for that time. So absolutely, just getting creative, using your space better. Using some of the virtual stuff that's on, using the online, you market better. I think all that stuff's great. And that's what's come out of this, positively, is that you've had to become lean. You've had to utilize your resources better. And I think a lot of people, anybody that survives COVID is going to come out of it, as a better business.
Do you see yourself operating back to whatever normal used to be like when things finally get back to normal, or will you stay more lean and mean?
I think, we got a lot of stuff set up. So I think, online ordering's here to stay. I think a lot of the delivery services are here to stay. I hope that we keep, the carry out and the to-go business up to what we've got. So, no, I definitely see us taking some of the stuff that we were forced to do because of COVID and carrying it forward and using it to help our bottom line when business conditions improve. So, I mean, it is, it's definitely making a positive out of a negative. That's the goal anyway.
Doing well in the restaurants and obviously continuing to do well on the competition circuit. He is the KCBS Team of the Year here in 2020. And we'll be looking to do it again in 2021, along with winning all the chases as they go through it. It is Brad Leininger. That's right. Sweep them all. You heard it here first, and we can go back and document when it happens. It's Brad Leininger. Brad, always appreciate the time, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Greg.
You got it. There he is, Brad Leininger from Getting Basted. And you can find him in Branson and some of the other areas that he has restaurants in. And also doing very well there. He's also, as he had mentioned, going to do that whole concept kitchen or ghost kitchen. We'll be talking with Sam, the cooking guy, in the second hour, as he is also currently running ghost kitchens. I think there's a burger one. Was there a breakfast one that he was doing too? I know there's Sam's Burgers. There's another one. Multifaceted. Brad is always engaged, always looking for new opportunities, and concise from an interviewer standpoint. And he's in, he's out, giving you just the right amount of info, but not dragging it out, not long-winded. I appreciate it. Great guest. And the energy. Love the energy. All right, as we're getting ready to wrap up the first hour, I'll talk to you quickly about Southside Market and Barbecue, established in 1882. Southside is the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. Famous for their original beef sausage, coarse ground on a natural pork casing. They also have authentic Central Texas barbecued meats. They ship nationwide through the online store at southsidemarket.com. Shipping customers can choose to order now and ship later, include a custom gift note, and mail to multiple addresses without additional charges. This will come in increasingly handy during these holiday months coming up. All meats processed in the on-site USDA inspected facility. On-site meat markets for fresh and smoked products. Custom orders are available as well. 3 different restaurants for you to eat in. Elgin, Texas since 1882. Then you have ones in Bastrop and Austin, Texas as well. Grocery distribution through Texas and many surrounding states. Hey, as you are visiting SouthsideMarket.com and throwing stuff in your checkout cart, if you want to take off 10% of the entire order, use promo code BBQ Central as you check out. BBQ Central, all one word, lowercase, and you can get 10% off when you visit SouthsideMarket.com each and every time. Let's wrap up the first hour. You want to jump in? Happy to have you. 216-220-0966. You can also email the show, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The BBQ Central Show. Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the BBQ Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show brought to you by Fireboard 2 and Fireboard 2 Drive. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring. Or connect via Bluetooth. If you have Alexa or the Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck. Fireboard is fully integrated with both. You can find out more about the Fireboard 2 and Fireboard 2 Drive by visiting fireboard.com, or you can call them 816-945-2232. In fact, Ted Conrad will be on the show in 2 weeks, maybe next week. Why don't I give you the definitive answer as I check the calendar? He will be on next week, along with Meathead and Cosmo from Cosmo's Q. He's making a reappearance back on the show on the 10th. Looking forward to that. We'll talk to Ted about more of that meter shenanigans that we talked about like 3 or 4 months ago. He was on the show as they were like one of the last trade shows to happen in New Orleans in the middle of March during HPBA. And then they told everybody like on a Wednesday, that thing usually runs until Sunday, hey, everybody get out! Get out! The pandemic is coming! Stupid. All right, we are pointed to the second hour where we will find Sam the cooking guy. I have some takes as well. It's like so great to be back in the normal format as we skirted it last month doing origin stories. Refresh your libations, and we will be right back. Stick around.
This is Jennifer Palamas from Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is Barbecue Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners. Oh, listen, Liberty, it's a shake face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome aboard. It's the Barbecue Central Show. We talk about Barbecue Central Show stuff. It's the live fire fun and frivolity show. If you want to jump in on the show this evening, here's how you do that.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Yeah, that's what we didn't have the first hour. And you see how I rode the fades on the wheels of steel there? Yeah. Pro, ladies and gentlemen. Pro. Hit me up if you want to chat about whatnot. Here is your current tally for President Joe Biden at 131 electoral votes, which I think he's been at for what appears to be an hour at this point. Donald Trump picking up 6 more. He is now at 98. That's your total right now. And if I'm looking at the percentage and raw number count of the popular vote, this is where it always gets tricky to me and why Mr. Addison would be pissed at me because he was my 7th grade civics teacher. Trump has, by roughly 500,000 votes, the popular vote, but Biden has 30. What's my math at here? 33 more electoral votes than Trump. So we'll see what's happening. Still, folks, believe it or not, I'm not even kidding when I say this. Still too close to call for me. I'm not going to make that decision yet. Do you know why I'm not going to make that decision?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody's got time for that. We have only time for barbecue and grilling talk. I will continue to give you live, up-to-date presidential results from the Associated Press's live interactive calendar that I'm looking at because I'm totally invested. I bet on who I thought is going to be president, but I never reveal who my bet is because that's bad luck. I don't want to do that. Still to come on the show, Sam the Cooking Guy. You can follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the Snappers / BBQ Central Show on Facebook and Twitch.tv, which nobody ever watches whatsoever.
What?
I said nobody ever watches that. And, of course, / RD Rempe on YouTube. By the way, in case you were wondering, I did reach an agreement on my theme music that I can now use again. I don't even know. Yeah, I have that. This is my theme music. Remember this song? Cell Dweller, Switchback. You know the song, right? This is a real song. I had to pay money in order to use this song when I streamed to Facebook. I like to keep it legal. Does anybody have any idea how much the show cost me a year to run on YouTube just for 30 seconds? Here's where you know the song. That might be a good idea. This is the theme music. It's a real song. It's like 4 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, that's enough. Cell Dwellers Switchback, but it's the instrumental version, like Detroit 2000 Switchback instrumental, if you want to look at it on YouTube. I'm going to pay $500 a year.
What?
$500 a year so I can use that 30 seconds of intro music so I don't get jammed up by YouTube. So, I want to make a couple bucks, but no. So I put the deal together, negotiated the $500 sweetheart deal that Position Music is giving me, and you're all set, no problem. All the releases are going to be taken off your video. Well, then I go into the live video portion. There's got to be everything since I've moved channels is under protest because of that damn song. So I email back the guy and I said, hey, we've put this agreement together. You said you're going to whitelist the website or my YouTube channel, but I still have like 60 protests. Oh, well, that's a partner of ours, and you're going to have to send us every single link in order to do that. Yeah, well, guess what? I don't want to do that. And I can spend all day tomorrow going in and pulling out each individual video link to send to them to clear. At least I know that they're going to be dealing with a headache on their end as well. But a headache on my end first. But don't worry. No more issues with YouTube going forward for the year. I can tell you what, just another reason why I hate YouTube. No offense to my YouTube viewers. But, $500 for that song, I might as well just edit it out and start the show from when and upload it and just dump all the cares, YouTube. Coming up this Friday on the Best Moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, episode 149, taking you back to November 5th, 2013. Kingsford, believe it or not, I think for 2 years put on a barbecue contest, and they hyped on it. They were giving pretty big prizes away for winning it. I think it's safe. Wait. Guys, so you make more money with 10 people on Facebook? I don't make any money on Facebook. But if you go back through, you know what? I'm not even talking about it. You've got me off track. Back on track. Pulling it back on the rails. Good try, guy. I'm not falling for that. I think it's safe to say that this Kingsford Invitational was quickly becoming a contest that pitmasters were hoping to get the invite to and, of course, win. There were also, ways to win your way in. Like if you won the American Royal, you got to go to Kingsford Invitational. If you won these rando KCBS contests or Memphis in May, you got to go to the Kingsford Invitational. I went to the first one in Bell, Missouri, which is the middle of nowhere. That contest paid out $50,000 to the winner, and it was winner take all. So all the other teams that showed up, and it was a small handful, but all the other teams that showed up, pound salt. You didn't pay out through, first through eighth, however many teams were there. You showed up, and if you won it, you walked away with a check for $50K, Polly. And I'm like, damn, this is what contests need to be like. You show up, and you could win $50K, and everybody else, F off. I was hyped on that. I started asking that question. Hey, I just came back from Kingsford Invitational. They paid out $50,000 to the winner. Everybody else got told to hit the bricks. Is that something that you would want? A chance to win nothing or win $50,000? And like to a man and woman, everybody was like, oh, F that. We want payouts. We want to at least get some gas money back and keep people motivated, or this would cause too much attrition if you just winner take all kind of stuff. And again, the one that you're going to be hearing on Friday was the Kingsford Invitational Part 2, and I believe that was the final event altogether. That took place in New York City. This is not the one.
Andrew, you are not the
That's right. This was not the one where Johnny Trigg accosted me in front of everybody on the cow fields of Bell, Missouri. That was not. That was the first one. Also, let me remind you that if you have a special take or a segment that you would like to hear, just email John, Jon, at thebbqcentralshow.com, and he will help you out. And then there's this. You know, it was my understanding that businesses were going out of their way to make things easier on all of us amidst the pandemic. Although from what I've heard over the past few months, this whole thing ends tomorrow, so we'll see about that. In any event, instead of making things easier on us as humans and consumers, McDonald's has decided to up the ante on all of us as they are rolling out the worst piece of crap ever to hit the fast food market menus, that being the McRib. Take note, you kooks. Starting December 2nd, McDonald's McRib is returning to the menus, and let me make sure I properly intro this for you. Doing it nationwide. That's right. Nationwide for the first time since 2012. The limited time pork sando is brought back every year, but it's notoriously hard to find, of course. McDonald's even released its own McRib locator app to help customers locate restaurants that sold it nearest to them. I've had discussions with McRib fiends that downloaded that app and was like, hey, the nearest McRib is only 3 hours away. Let's pack into the sedan and take a drive so we can get our McRib on. Great idea, loser. The fast food giant brought the McRib to 10,000 of its 14,000 U.S. restaurants last year. That was the biggest rollout since the 2012 nationwide re-unveiling of that piece of crap. The item has been appearing on McDonald's menus in the U.S. since 1982. That thing has been around since 1982, helping the chain attract customers to its restaurants during the holiday season. In fact, if you don't believe that this thing has been around that long, I have something for you. You're damn right I do. Check this out.
Looks like Daddy's bringing home the barbecue. A big
Let me restart this, by the way. Well, I guess you can see it up at the top. This is from 1989. So 30, 40 years ago, maybe 60 years ago. Check this out.
Looks like Daddy's bringing home the barbecue. A big sack of McDonald's.
Looks like Daddy's bringing home the barbecue. In the McDonald's drive-thru.
McRib sandwiches. Grilled pork.
Nice old Cutlass sedan.
Working that sassy sauce.
Sassy.
Tempting, huh?
Look at him.
Like a barbecue.
This is so 1989. I mean, look at this guy. He's got the wool blazer on. The shirt collar has been undone from a hard day at the accounting office. And, of course, the stash. Let me tell you something. If you saw this guy today, how old is this guy, you think? Maybe 30, 32? He looks like he's 45 with that mustache on. I look like I'm 60, but I don't have a mustache. And he's got the mustache. And here's what I say. If you met this guy for the first time in your life today, no big deal. But if he didn't have that mustache on and that you met him, and then like 5 months later you meet this guy again and he's got that mustache on his face, there's a big problem. You can't grow a mustache and have it be okay. Like, you have to meet everybody you're ever going to meet in life with a mustache already on. You can't regrow it and have it look normal. It's bizarre, but this is the first time we're meeting him, so it's all right. Anyway, we go on. He's driving home with his sack of barbecue.
You in a barn without the bone.
Oh,
and with
baby.
a big icy Coke, it's where you're
yeah.
only human.
Oh,
on Daddy Chone. Great taste of McDonald's McRib for a limited time. Only at McDonald's.
That's right. Sorry, kids. eating your dinner this evening, the McDonald's dinner. Hope you don't mind eating that sando. So don't worry, McRib kooks. December 2nd is your day of days, and it is nationally rolled out this year. Amidst COVID, trying to make life easier for all you McRib honks out there, McDonald's is running it out nationwide for the first time since 2012. 8 years ago. So you don't even have to download their McRib app locator or McRib locator app. It's available at your nearest McDonald's. So make sure that you have your phones rolling. Do your best Dame Drops fast food reset on the McRib. And for everybody says that this is the best thing ever and I wait for it all year, you're a liar.
What?
I said you're a liar. It's a piece of crap. Terrible sandwich. Other crappy fast food sandwiches laugh at the McRib. That's how much of a piece of crap that sandwich is. The Subway rib sando laughs at the McRib. That's how big of a piece of crap that sandwich is. We could sit here and make analogies all day. But Sam the Cooking Guy is in the green room. So I'll quickly tell you about Big Papa Smokers, and then we'll get to Sam. It's a one-stop online shop for all things barbecue related. They have 13 perfectly balanced rubs and seasonings that you should be trying every day. Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, Double Secret Steak Rub, Little Louie's Seasoned Salt, Desert Gold, Regular Money. How about Happy Ending Rub? Yes. Sprinkle it on your rack and then serve it. Aside from the rubs, they own Granny's barbecue sauce. So if you're looking for a new go-to sauce that will please everybody, you're sick of the traditional stuff that's out there everywhere that everybody's using, Granny's is something you're going to want to check out. Great as a sauce by itself. Also, great as a base where you can start to tweak if you want. Aside from the premium selection of rubs and sauces, they offer great cookers. Check out the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Cooker if you're looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use. Big Papa's the exclusive Mac dealer, and they even offer special packages. Not a fan of pellet smokers? All right. Take a look at the Old Hickory Ace BP. It's the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. Not sure of what grill you need? Call. Ask questions. They're there to help. 877-828-0727. That's 877-828-0727. Or shop the website, BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA Smokers.com. We are back with Sam the Cooking Guy right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The Barbecue Central Show. Monthly visits from a killer hog, a cooking guy, a man named Meathead, the author of Barbecue Bible, a grill girl, a bristly barbecue journalist, and the malfeasance of the barbecue world known as the embedded correspondents. Only found right here on the Barbecue Central Show.
This portion of the show being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker, the most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet. Currently available in 2 sizes, a third one on the way, a host of accessories there to adorn your pit barrel cooking experience. Whether you're a beginner or professional, definitely a cooker you want to add to the arsenal, visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. It is the No, it's not. It is the first Tuesday of a brand new month, and we race to the hotline and welcome back second hour recurring guest, Sam the Cooking Guy. Hey, Sam.
What's up, my brother?
Who are you voting for?
I'm Canadian.
Oh, right. I see. I knew I could ask that question, and there would be no him-hawing around like there was the last 2 guests. Malcolm Reed said he was voting for the ticket of brisket and ribs. Like that?
As you should. I can tell you this: I will not be voting for that fucking McRib. That's for sure.
Yes, I know. Did you see that guy on the commercial?
I don't. Yeah, what was 1972? They're just recycling an old commercial, I think.
Yeah, 1989.
1989.
Yeah.
Look, I don't understand McRib. I understand people liking rib taste and flavors. I don't get that thing. I don't get something that is so fake. They press it into the shape of something that has bones, and yet magically, mysteriously, there are no bones.
No.
So,
do you know
I
why?
have two things to say. Wait, why there's no bones?
Yes.
Pretty, because people would chip their tooth and chew them.
Yeah, but they are widely made with pork butt. That's what they're made out of. So they debone the pork butt and they just throw them in the vat and then they press the pork butt. I'm sure there's other ingredients in there, but the meat is a pork butt. It's not even rib meat.
I've never liked it.
Yeah,
I had it once. I hated it, and then after a landslide of, oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever, I buckled under the pressure and I went and bought one.
Oh,
and I took a bite and I was like, why did I go with my original thinking? I hated it then. Why would I like it now? But see, I used to hate cilantro.
What?
Whereas my Canadian family,
What?
my Canadian family would say cilantro.
Yeah.
Hated it. Like if I went to somebody's house for dinner and I knock, they open the front door, I take one step in, I knew if there was cilantro being served. I could smell it. I was pissed. But now I would look at Kelly and I'd be like, now I'm going to have to eat it and not be an asshole. But at some point, something changed in my thinking and I went, maybe I need to open my mind a little bit more, which is my advice to most people. When it comes to food, just because you say you don't like something, give it a chance.
Yeah.
Try it again for the first time.
Right.
But I have a more important thing to talk about.
Okay, I got to write this down because I do want to come back to cilantro. So go ahead.
Okay, come back. I noticed something about you.
All right.
Never saw it before, and I don't know if it's because of the background, which, by the way, I quite like.
Thank you.
Is this because it's an election day? Is it an election day background?
I mean,
or just because?
Have I had this background for the last 2 months? Yeah.
I didn't notice. Not with me the last time.
Yes.
I listen to you. I don't watch you.
All right.
Other than this. So forget that. Thanks for making your guests feel like shit. Nice job. I'm sure that's not in hosting 101 handbook, right, but whatever. But here's what I noticed about you.
Okay.
You're a leg wiggler.
Oh, yes. Totally. Because you can see
how I know?
Yeah, the back of the chair is probably going a mile a minute.
The chair is going like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what's called my cousin Karen called it the gift, is what she calls it, the gift. And for instance, when I was younger and we were forced to go to church, for all the major holidays, you'd have a bunch of rempies lined up in the church pews, and you could look down that pew and everybody had legs running a mile a minute. And
how is that a gift?
That's what she just called it, the gift. That's it. I mean, it didn't mean anything. It was just her term of endearment for people that look obnoxiously nervous all the time. But I can tell you this, as somebody who has been a lifelong gifter, if you will.
Yes.
If my leg is not moving, you need to be very concerned for many things. When the leg is going, I'm in my comfort. I'm not nervous. Like, that is a complete sign of cool, calm, and collected. If I'm still, be scared. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I just want the viewing audience to be aware now of the back of the chair. Don't fix on it. Don't fixate on it. And don't do it for a few minutes, because right now it's in his head. He's probably not gifting, if that's what you call what's going on under
I'm
the desk.
gifting as we speak. Double leg gifting right now.
There it is. I'm watching it happen.
Yeah.
You're making me car sick a little bit, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I'm self-conscious, so I have to.
Okay,
also,
go back to your question.
It usually happens when I put if I'm on the ball of my foot, it just happens like like breathing. What do they call that? It's involuntary. Like I get right on the ball of my foot, boom, it starts. So anyway, let's get back to cilantro just for a sec. Who are we talking to?
What do you mean?
Somebody pulled your attention away as a guest, so I'm just wondering who we're talking to.
I didn't talk to anybody.
You didn't?
I might have looked away. There's a television above me.
Yes.
That's got the.
All right. You want an update? I got an update for you. Here we go. Joe Biden currently with 131 electoral votes. Donald Trump with 98 electoral votes. That is your up-to-date electoral tally.
Actually, I'm looking right now. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, so who knows? It's anybody's risk. Let's not talk about that. Please.
I'm telling you right now, it is too close to call right now.
If I hear that once more tonight, I'm going to go crazy.
I've only been saying it like every 10 minutes during the first hour just to be a dick. Let's get back to cilantro.
The second that the polls closed on the East Coast, anybody that was on the news would say, Joe Biden's got 1 vote and Trump's got 2 votes. It's honestly too close to call.
It's coming down to the wire.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's too close to call at 2 seconds after the polls close. Go ahead. Let's talk about cilantro.
Right. Cilantro. Now, what I've come to figure out is that people that typically don't like cilantro fall into that, and I forget what percentage it is. I think Steven Reichland told it to me one time, let's say 15%. Maybe it was as high as 20 or 30%. But of the consuming American public, there is a fairly large percentage of people that when they eat it, it tastes like soap. So there's
I've heard that.
There's a real taste issue. Not the fact that they can taste it regularly and they have disdain for it, but it actually tastes different than what it should taste like. Is that similar to you, or you just didn't like the taste?
I don't remember it tasting like soap. It's been so long now that I have liked it. But one day, I did this one day, and this has been my approach ever since. One day I said, I say I hate it, but maybe I haven't given it a proper try. Maybe I'm going to open my mind a little bit, because what if I hate it my entire life and then I'm like 3 days away from dying and I know I'm going to die and somebody gives me something with cilantro that I love. Yeah. I'm like, oh my, what? I've missed this my entire life? I'm going to be a big boy. I'm going to open my mind and I'm going to say, great, I'm going to try this. Like we didn't let our kids get away with not trying things when they were little. I don't like that. They would do that BS. I don't like that. We've never had it before. I know, but I don't like it. No, you're going to eat it, sweetheart, or you're going to sit there all effing night.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it wasn't that violent, but you got to, kids have to eat stuff. You have to. And if you don't force them, if you don't encourage them, if you don't goad them into trying everything, then they're going to grow up to be picky ass eaters. And who wants that?
Well, it's certainly not a fun culinary journey. And I have said many times on the show that my food journey probably isn't as broad as most. However,
it's not.
I'm not averse to trying things. It's just that my palate might be a little narrow because it's a little narrow. It's not because I wasn't introduced to stuff as a youth or that I don't actively try stuff now. I try onions all the time. Guess what? Onions still suck. But I try onions all the time.
Listen to your words, and I hope the audience is laughing. I try onions. Wow, it's like you're saying, like, I try alligator eyeballs all the time. Wow, onions! Yes, my God!
But the point,
have you tried the exotic red onion yet, Mr. Rempe?
Yes, red onion, purple onion. The only onion that I will eat under protest is a shallot, and I guess technically that's not an onion; it's a shallot, but it's onion-y. But it's still too onion-y for me. Look, I'm telling you. And
I don't cook with shallots because they're a pain in the ass.
I use onion as an example because everybody I know loves onion. And I try, and I try, and I try, and I hate it. when I was drinking, I hated wine forever. And then I turned 30 and I tried wine again and my palate changed and I loved wine. And then I got really into wine. So I don't not taste stuff, but I think I just end up with a fairly narrow palate. By the way, I also try onion all the time too because you continue to inspire me in your videos because you add onion to every fucking thing ever on the face of the earth.
Hey, whoa, easy, fella. Back up a bit.
You do.
Just take a breath. Look, you're in Cleveland. It is not the hotbed of culinary activity for this country.
That's false.
I think many people would agree with that.
I don't think many people would agree with that. It is actually
How
one of
many
the
people would
leading.
say apart?
You're wrong. It's one of the leading culinary factors in the country.
Apart from Michael Simon.
Outside
apart
of
from
LA.
Michael Simon and your backyard on the weekends. What else trailblazing is coming out of Cleveland? And don't you dare mention that effing Hall of Fame again because it has nothing to do with it.
New York, Chicago, LA. The next in line is Cleveland. The next in line is Cleveland.
It is not Cleveland.
100%.
No, it is not Cleveland.
Yes.
It's not Cleveland.
It's Cleveland. We can agree to
it's not
disagree.
San Diego, that's for sure. No, we can agree that it is not Cleveland, and neither is San Diego, but
I think there is more food revolution coming out of Cleveland than there is San Diego. Agree.
Hang on, let me do this. Hey, Zach, you ever heard of any good food coming out of Cleveland?
What are his credentials?
He's laughing.
Yeah. He probably
laughing.
also
He's
thinks that the river caught on fire is still a funny joke 40 years later. Zach.
Hey, you know what I started watching? We started watching on YouTube.
Netflix?
Netflix. The Vow. Have you watched any of that?
No, have not.
It's about that Keith Raniere guy that had that Nexium cult.
Is that a sex cult?
So good. Yes. The guy that just got sentenced to 120 years. It's really good. It's really good.
So I don't remember if I finished watching it or not, or maybe I have like 10 minutes or whatever, but I've watched Filthy Rich, the Jeffrey Epstein documentary that's on Netflix. Holy moly.
We watched that.
So look, I mean, you know how it ends, right? I mean, he's a piece of crap. He kills himself, magically kills himself in jail, which is a shame that he didn't get to do the trial. But to see how this guy got into the position he was in, and then the amount of abusing and sex trafficking and the power that this guy had and billions of dollars. Like, he had a fleet of jets. I'm not talking about prop planes and then a jet mixed in. He had a fleet of jets. I mean, this is mega rich.
I'm a fan of watching documentaries about cult-like groups.
Yeah.
Religious groups. I don't know why. Hasidic Jews, the Amish, this Nexium stuff. I'd love to watch this stuff. It makes me, in my off time, I love to watch it. What's so sad is how easily people are pulled into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How badly people are wanting to find, I guess it's just acceptance and love and feel like they belong. It doesn't matter what it is. It's Scientology. That's a lot of stuff you can watch for days. This Nexium stuff, The Vow, which is a lot like Scientology, except with sex added as a bonus. People feel the need to be part of something so badly that they're willing to grab onto stuff that doesn't make sense. Somebody taught me an expression many years ago. A drowning man will grab at a sword.
Yeah.
And it's true. You're taking in gulps of water off a boat. Somebody passes you one of those long sabers, you would grab at. You really would. People are looking. Can you imagine the person that turned in right now? Somebody said to them, "Why, you got to watch that Barbecue Central show. He talks about a lot of good barbecue." And they're listening to this right now.
Wow. Why does my listener sound like that?
How have we taken?
I mean, how offensive?
Because that was the voice. That was the voice of the guy in that stupid McRib commercial. Not quite as twangy as this, but But they gave him that like, Tennessee, Alabama kind of, like that voice means barbecue. Just because I talk like this, you're supposed to think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to barbecue.
That's right. Southern twang right there is street cred, no doubt.
Baby.
All right, so
honey, the man on the commercial has a twang. That must be a good sandwich.
Twang.
Let's go get it.
And the actor has a terribly bad mustache. Do you agree with me, by the way?
Stash.
Do you agree with me, by the way?
100%.
Like, you can't, if I meet you in person, like, I know you now to never have had a mustache. And if, like, you showed up next month with a full-on mustache, I could never get over it. It would look so weird.
You would laugh for 3 days.
Yes. Have I sent you the picture of me with the mustache?
No. Please send it. Can you put it up right now?
Oh, hold on. I got to see it. Let me see if I can quickly find it here. Because I've had, let's see, archives. I always think I put it in, like, the best spot so I can quickly access it. Because I tell people this.
Somebody tunes in. We're talking about The Vow and Scientology. They turn away, and then they go, wait, just give him a chance. Maybe you missed something. And they turn back and they go, honey, now the guy's going through his old files on his computer looking for a picture.
His machine.
His machine.
Let me see.
The machine.
I don't want to spend too much time. But it basically what it does is it helps me make the point that you can't just show up with a mustache if you've never had one.
No.
Well,
what do? Do you tell somebody? You tell somebody that you're be prepared. I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come see you, and I'm going to have something under my nose, but above my top lip that has never been there before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can't ever do it. Is basically what I'm saying. All right, ready? I found it.
Apparently, Taylor really wants to be in this because he keeps walking back and forth.
Come on, Taylor.
No, you're good, dude.
All right, here we go. For those of you waiting, here's what makes my story 100% ironclad. Look at that guy.
Dude. You know what that is? That's a drug deal going down in the outskirts of Miami in 1982.
What do you mean? It's
a
Mario. It's a Mario. It's me, a Mario.
Yeah, you can say what you want. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. And the crazy thing is that the whole body language, the whole attitude of the face is because of that thing on your lip.
Yes, it makes me lean casually with that F you attitude and the look what's hiding underneath my nose attitude and the whole thing. Let me tell you something. This picture happened and I had a beard and I just shaved the beard off. Obviously, I had a pretty substantial mustache and I showed my daughters. 2 of the 3 of them broke down crying immediately, and I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
they were like, God. No, cut it off. You know, they were littler at that point.
And so what does that mean? Does that mean you shaved it off?
Oh, immediately came off.
Right
I didn't
away?
wear it. I did it for shock value only. I shaved it to have it on to then quickly shave it back off. But it was to prove a point. Like if I decided to keep that and started going to work like that, I probably would have been fired. I mean, it is.
Well, what year was that? It might have been. What year was that? It might have fit in.
It was probably 2008, 2009. This never fits in unless it's the 70s. Okay, like this never fits in. I missed the time frame for that.
That's just
I mean, I had 3 kids, so I was at least 31 years old.
Wait, just go back to that for 1 second. Let me just point out one thing.
Screenshot.
Sorry, I just needed to screenshot it.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I know. I know what's going on. All right, we've talked about nothing here, so we will come back and talk about something.
What's new? That's our usual
here.
MO.
Yeah, nothing new here. So stand by, Sam, and we'll be right back with him. I'll talk to you quickly about Pits and Spits, and we will then talk about books and knives. Meatball Wellington. Since 1983, Pits and Spits have been handcrafting smokers and grills in Houston, Texas. In that time, Pitts and Spitz establishing itself as one of the premier brands in high-quality offset smokers and more recently pellet cookers. Pitts and Spitz sets itself apart by using heavy 7 and 10 gauge stainless steel cookers, fully welded construction that you can feel when you use the unit, a 304 stainless steel roll-top lid and a front shelf on every single smoker. Why does that matter? Well, by using higher quality materials, Pitts and Spitz smokers reach and maintain temperatures, allowing you to worry more about the meat than the heat, providing a fully welded smoker. You don't have to worry about grease or smoke leaking out of the barrel or the grill rattling apart as you move it through the backyard. And by using 304 stainless, you're getting an heirloom quality product you can pass down to your kids. Now, where some companies focus on being a low-cost provider, Pitts and Spitz focuses on craftsmanship and using quality materials. Are there cheaper ways to manufacture products? Sure. They don't like tack welds, cheap stainless, electronics that you can't trust. Having in-house manufacturing gives them complete control of the design and the standards. It's not something you're going to find in products brought in from overseas. Their steel suppliers supply materials to be used in some of the harshest environments around, so they will perform in any and all conditions. And the controllers are made right here in the USA. So they're able to have unimpeded transparency into the programming. Pitts and Spitz has a dealer network across the country, but if there isn't one close to you, call them at the shop. 844-650-6250. That's 844-650-6250. Whether you're a backyard grill master or a competition team smoking 50 racks of ribs, Pitts and Spitz is the product for you. You can check them out online, pittsandspitz.com, all spelled out, or see their pits in the wild across all social media handles at Pitts and Spitz. That does it for the reads, and we are back to chat with Sam the Cooking Guy. Right after this, stick around.
You're listening to the #1 most downloaded barbecue and grilling podcast anywhere. The Barbecue Central Show. Celebrating over 10 years of prolific and unparalleled live fire barbecue and grilling talk. And yes, it's still being done from Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Hey, this portion being brought to you by Smithfield. We are still in grilling season. Champ pitmasters like Chris Lilly, Darren Worth, Ernest Cervantes, Childs Cridlin giving you all the tips and tricks you need. Mouth-watering flavor, no artificial ingredients. Smithfield Fresh Pork, quite simply some of the finest pork money can buy. Trusted choice of world champion pitmasters for use at home and at competitions. Smithfield.com. And it's Sam the Cooking Guy. Hey, so a little housekeeping going on. Any update on the Chori Pollo flatbread taste testing? By the way, I said Chori Pollo, so the theme song comes on. Freaking margaritas for everybody. Half off guacamole. Well, that's it. So what's going on with that?
I just have to do it. I have to make them. I have to freeze them. I have to package them.
Do we want to back out of it? Do we want to back out of it?
I'd love to. Can we? I tell you what.
Of course we can.
Come here. And I mean, I question whether it will be the quality that's. It's going to be. We don't freeze our food and then send it 2 days. And
sure. So you're going to fly me and the 2 other people out to San Diego, and we'll do a live tasting on the show. Is that what you're saying?
Wait, sorry, I just cut out for a second. I couldn't quite hear what you said.
Yeah. By the way, if you are interested, Joe Biden 131 electoral votes, Donald Trump 108 electoral votes. Oh, by the way, still too close to call at this time.
Hey, can I pimp one of your sponsors for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So tomorrow, well, that's really Canadian of me.
Tomorrow.
I don't know how to say that American. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's O's in there. I do speak the Queen's English. Tomorrow on Sam the Cooking Guy YouTube channel. No?
Tomorrow.
That doesn't work? Tomorrow.
There you go.
Tomorrow.
Oh, nope.
Tomorrow.
No. Tomorrow.
I'm Canadian. Tomorrow.
Too many. You gotta take some of the O's out and put some of the A's in.
No. No, there is not A's in there. There's O's. Tomorrow on Sam the Cooking Guy YouTube channel.
Yep.
With now 3 million
2.6
subscribers.
Right.
2.6?
2.26.
Wow, 2.26. Thank you. I will be making giant turkey legs 4 ways.
Yeah.
And the turkey legs came from the Butcher Shoppy in Pensacola, Florida.
Really? How about that?
From our boy
Kevin Green. Yeah, Kevin Green.
Let me tell you something. I went looking for giant turkey legs in San Diego. And this is not, I know you don't like to swear, but this is not bumfuck USA.
Yeah.
We got stuff. We have things. We, in fact, have turkeys not so far from here. But do you think I could find giant turkey legs? No. I went to a couple places that claimed to have them. And when I looked at them, I was like, what? These are not turkey legs. This is nothing. What are you talking about? So I reached out to you, wondered if Kevin had them. You put me in touch with Kevin. Kevin said, I can get them for you. They were 2.1 or 2 pounds each. I'm telling you, these are big ass turkey legs.
Yeah.
Big ass turkey. I sent you that picture with it beside my head.
These are something that you would find akin to like one of the amusement parks. These big ass turkey legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say the name of the amusement park.
Disney World.
Disneyland is known for them.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever. Some of the Disney properties. We did them 4 ways: smoked, deep fried, grilled, and oven roasted.
Any of them win enough to make it onto your Thanksgiving table this year?
I said to my audience, if you don't want to do the whole turkey thing, it's a pretty good way to go and not very expensive. But you get a lot of meat off them. They're very delicious. And either of these ways, I think you'd be happy with. There was not a huge amount of difference in, I used the same rub and as close to the same temperature on all of them as I could.
Right.
I was trying to be fair. I didn't want to jazz one up and then go, oh, well, of course, this is so much better. That would have been stupid. But anyway, the butcher shop has what you want. This is not a paid commentary. I'm just saying. I keep hearing about them. I finally used them. He's a great guy.
Yep. Kevin's a great guy.
But don't go looking for a website because they're in the 1920s when it comes to that.
Still a little behind the times on that one.
Kevin admits to having a good old Facebook page and a phone number. We got that. That's all you need.
That's right.
Really.
Got a phone.
Because you'll probably get Kevin if you call there. They hand pick your briskets, your whatever.
Yeah. It's a place to go.
Anyway.
I always tell people, if you're really looking for something exotic, because they do have camel and, all this other stuff, or dry-aged Wagyu or A5 or A9 or anything in between.
Yeah.
Butcher Shop either has it or has a line on it.
Yeah.
However, don't ask me what's the website. Here's the phone number. Just call, ask for Kevin, and go from there, and tell him the Barbecue Central Show sent you.
And that's better. But it brings up a point, and not to continue to pick Kevin at the butcher shop, and we love you. But it brings up a point that is this: you should be thinking about finding in your town, your city, your village, a place that specializes in the things that you want to buy, like the supermarket. Pork shoulders and briskets and things like that is not where you want to go. I'm not taking away anything that the supermarkets do. They provide a very valuable function in our society. But when it comes to even slightly specialty things, find a guy, a woman, a place that does this stuff all the time.
Yep.
You wouldn't go to have a tooth fix and go to somebody that was a dentist, a doctor, a pharmacist, an alterationist, and an engineer, right?
Right.
You don't want somebody that does a whole lot of things. It's like Cheesecake Factory. It's 185 things on the menu. Can they do any of them really well? I don't think so. I've only been once and I didn't like it.
Chicken Madeira.
You want meat? Go to a place that. Wait, what?
Chicken
They
Madeira.
do chicken Madeira well.
Yes.
That's the one thing they do well.
It's great.
185 items. They do chicken Madeira well.
Yeah, and the cheesecake I think is pretty good too.
Can I tell you what I'm going to ask you tomorrow or later tonight when we're off this?
Yes.
And maybe as a quick poll you can take. Do people enjoy listening to this nonsense?
Yes.
I think I said to you last time or a couple times ago, I feel like you get on with Stephen Reichlin and it's like grill this and smoke this and do it that way. And meatheads, let's do it to 182 degrees and then this and then I tested that and my correspondents did this and the report's coming in here. Every Scheiding's out there with all the fucking Traeger shit and the smoking. Everybody's like concise and precise and accurate and laser focused on their topic.
Yeah.
And me, I could not be more all over the board. I just want to make sure that people don't hate this.
What are you worried
part
about?
Of it.
Come on. I can't believe you
loved.
were so worried about it the last time. I said that
I know.
The more off base we seem to get, the more enjoyment there. Because again, it's layers of relationships. It's different relationships. I have a different relationship with you than I have with Malcolm, than I have with Meathead, than I have with Stephen Reichlin, and the list goes on. So there's a whole Dennis Busso right here from Dennis is my official embedded correspondent from Colorado. Here's a guy, big fan of the show, loves the chatter between us. Just one of many that are jumping in right now saying, "Hey, it's a change of pace."
I want to be. I don't want me to be loved. I want us to be loved, and I worry that my manager Brad sent me a text just before I did this, and I go, "I'd like to." What do you think, Brad? It's a name.
Brad.
Like I said, my friend Greg. Would he go, Greg? I don't think he.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. Come on.
I'd do it. So he goes. I go. I can't talk right this second. I'm on a podcast to go. Which one? Barbecue Central. In his mind, it's all barbecue related.
Yeah.
I'm sure if Brad tuned in after wrestling on a Sunday, he'd be like, where was the barbecue talking? What? All that bullshit.
Yeah.
I go, okay, well, so maybe that's not my purpose, but I just want to make sure it's okay. If people want serious barbecue talk, we talked about it. We talked about turkey legs.
And we talked about how crappy the McRib is.
Yes, and now let's talk about meatball. Say it.
Meatball Wellington. Meatball Wellington. Show me right now. Meatball Wellington.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Lord Meatball Wellington and Lady Chastity Wellington.
Red team. Order in 4 spaghetti, 3 Meatball Wellington. Right now. How about that? Like that?
It was freaking delicious.
Yeah. So where do you come up with Meatball Wellington?
I don't know. Look, we did the Tomahawk Wellington.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't want to lose this when I was watching it. He totally missed. Like, did you guys get over that whole lost in translation of what he was saying and what you were saying, or is it still like in the ether somewhere?
What were you talking about, the Meatball Wellington part?
So you guys were talking about the Tomahawk Wellington, and prior to that, you were prefacing you said the phrase, "What's not good in puff pastry?" And then you said, "Max, remember Tomahawk, whatever the fuck it was?" And then there was like a weird interaction between, you're like, "Oh, you don't seem so excited," and he's like, "Well, didn't you say something about this?" And it was never resolved, but I know exactly what the problem was. I know exactly what the problem was. He heard you say, "What's not good in puff pastry?" And then you immediately followed it up with the tomahawk ribeye. And he was thinking, nothing. But then you specifically said something, and he's like, he didn't like it. So, yeah. That's exactly what that was. I meant to text you that as I was watching live
No,
to give you live
I
commentary.
hear what you're saying now.
Yeah, that's what happened.
This is way too inside for people who don't follow as well as you do. But,
watch Meatball Wellington. You'll see exactly what I'm talking.
Max one day said, "Let's do a beef Wellington," and I thought, "Okay, let's do a beef Wellington." And then I started thinking about it and go, "But everybody does a fucking beef Wellington. It's just steak, long, but with blah blah and the pot pastry. Let's do a different version." He goes, "Like what?" I go, "Let's get a big ass tomahawk ribeye and do that."
Yeah.
So we did that, and it was freaking delicious. And then I have no idea. I don't think Meatball Wellington's like brand new, but he goes, "Let's do meatballs and Wellington them," and I'm like, I'm in. I didn't do the whole mushroom duxelle thing, but I did. And by the way, if you take nothing away from this, just make my freaking meatballs. They are so damn good. We could not stop eating those effing things at the end of this. And as I said, puff pastry is delicious, makes everything better. I could wrap it around my stupid phone or my old computer that somehow you thought was a new computer. But puff pastry makes everything better. And wrapped around my meatballs with a layer of prosciutto, they were delicious. And some mozzarella cheese crammed into the middle and melty. And, oh, so good. And the holidays are coming up. You got to do stuff, so do it.
How big were the meatballs each? Couple, like, I mean, were you talking like a couple ounces each or something like that?
Two and a half ounces. Yeah.
2, 3, 4 ounces. All right. And then
So
from
they'd be like 3 or 4 bites.
and you were
Four
you were
bites.
firming them up. You were cooking them on a pan, but for my crowd, of course, you could put the Traeger on 225 super smoke and stick those in there and firm them up that way. Add a little smoke flavor if you're into that thing, and then go ahead and wrap them in the philo to then finish off.
100%.
Yeah.
Shining would love you. Kiss your ass for that.
Yeah, that's right. What else from you know what I wanted to ask you about? I've seen you more and more bring out that deep fryer. And a lot of the time you're doing fresh cut French fries. So if nobody's ever done it, and I would be one of those folks who's always wanted to do it, and then I just never think about doing it until I watch a video and I go, oh, I got to do that. But then too much time passes. He just walked in back to you again.
No, that was Zach. That was not.
Oh, okay, not the same guy.
Who?
So, what's your tried and true way of doing the fresh cut fry cook?
So look, I do have a little deep fryer. You could shallow fry them. You could use a cast iron pan. My sister-in-law, who absolutely adores fried chicken, has never made it until tonight. And she called me 2 days ago and she goes, I keep seeing your fried chicken stuff. I've never made it. I'm scared about making it. We had a whole conversation. She made it tonight. She made the fried chicken sandwich that's on the website.
Yeah.
She called me tonight and she goes, oh my God, I don't know why I was so scared. This is one of the best tasting things I've ever made. There's this stigma about deep frying that people have. She does not have a dedicated deep fryer. She has a cast iron pan like this.
Yeah.
That she shallow fried in. But so I'd like to fry my fries, cook them twice. Once for 4 or 5 minutes, get a general level of just very slight color on them, take them out, crank up the heat 30 degrees, and then do them back until they're golden. They just get extra crispy, but they stay sort of light and fluffy inside. I think it's really the best way to go. Really good way to go. But you shouldn't be scared of deep frying. I was once. I certainly am not anymore. I deep fry the shit out of anything these days. In fact, we used it today. Today we made, it's effing ridiculous. Wait, I have a picture. Can I show you? Allow me to pimp something that will come out Friday, I think. Right. Hold on.
While you're looking for
today,
that, I have an update. Yeah. Joe Biden at 135 electoral votes. Donald Trump at 108. at 11
108. How
p.m.
is that?
Eastern. How about that?
Okay,
ask me what
let
I
me
think
try and
about
do
those
this.
results.
What do you think about those results?
Still,
they're bullshit.
Too close to call.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Ooh,
Okay,
look at those.
This is a fried chicken. Wait for it.
Yes.
Fried chicken Alfredo burrito.
Holy moly.
We made fettuccine Alfredo, and we made fried chicken. And then we took the two of them and went like this, and then in the burrito, and then we cut it.
No way.
It was as wrong gets. You shouldn't do this very often.
Yeah.
You should do it for sure once, but make a big ass burrito, but then share it. It was so effing good. Fettuccine Alfredo, amazing. Fried chicken, amazing. Fettuccine Alfredo in a burrito, wrapped in a big ass tortilla, super amazing.
Wow. Well, my middle daughter's favorite meal is Alfredo, pasta Alfredo.
Oh,
this has got to be it.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
It is so easy. Butter, garlic, cream, Parmesan. Done. Salt and pepper. You're done. And then if you make some fried chicken and slice it and put it on top, even better. The only thing we did was roll it into a burrito that was nonsensical.
The burrito doesn't offset any flavors otherwise? Just a good delivery device?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's flour. So I use flour tortillas for these. They don't make big corn tortillas, but I use big flour tortillas that come from a taco shop near me. It is literally, as you just said, literally just a delivery system. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Look out. Another update. Joe Biden, 209 electoral votes to Donald Trump, 112. Wow. California, Oregon, and Washington all came in for Biden. According to the Associated Press, by the way. I mean, I'm not any...
But it's just 8 o'clock. Our shit just closed now.
Yeah, well,
Where do they get these numbers?
I guess California is... they're calling California, Oregon, and Washington. As you said, it's just 8:01 on the Pacific Coast, 11:01 here. And now, I got to admit, I feel pretty comfortable when I say... Still too close to call. All right, so let me ask you a couple quick questions before I let you go, and their promotion for you, of course. Number one, is the book for sale, or are we still like pre-ordering, or can you buy and it's shipping now?
No, I've seen people have sent me pictures of the book they ordered off of
Amazon.
BarnesandNoble.com.
All right.
That has shown up. In fact, my publisher said to me, we had a meeting about this today. What is today?
Tuesday?
It's
the 3rd?
Yesterday.
There's a vote going
yesterday. Okay. I told them, I said, I've got some pictures of people that have already received their books. How does that happen? And they said, do you know where? And I went back and I went, looks like Barnes & Noble. They go, yeah, that's annoying. I go, what's annoying? They go, well, Barnes & Noble sends them out ahead of time.
Really?
It's not supposed to drop to the 10th, which means if you ordered it off of Amazon, apparently it shows up on the 10th. But Barnes & Noble just said, fuck it. Send them out. I don't care.
Yeah.
I say do it. So, yes, you can order it. Look, today's the 3rd. If you ordered it today, you'd have it in a week. What's wrong with that? And by the way, Sam the Cooking Guy, recipes with intentional leftovers.
Not
There's a whole
international
chapter
leftovers.
on Thanksgiving. No, not international leftovers.
That's the next book.
It is no, we're already talking about the next book, but I'll share that with you when it's
all right. Then the other thing,
we got
of
a
course.
great name for it.
Oh, you want to? Do we have breaking news?
No, keep your hand off that. No, we don't. We don't.
All right.
Exclusive news.
Sorry.
No.
Barbecue Central Show.
Got to get out of it. I have that set to fade, so it just won't stop.
That's right. Unless what I tell you off camera later is an exclusive just for your ears.
Yes, always. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, because they sold like hotcakes, and did everybody have fun at my expense when I said you should have stocked up 500,000 of your Santoku knives or whatever the hell kind of knife it was. What is going on? Because now I'm seeing that, what did I see on Instagram? That knives are not only soon to be in stock, but there might be more than that original knife that people were buying.
There are. We started with the 7-inch Santoku knife.
Santoku.
Sold really well. Santoku.
Santoku.
Don't be a Cleveland dick.
Yeah. Santoku. Right.
Santoku.
Right.
We've added an 8-inch chef's knife because we know people like that.
Yep.
We've added an 8-inch offset serrated bread knife, which, by the way, forget the fact that I have one. If I was buying a serrated knife for bread or for whatever, I would buy an offset knife. Absolutely. No question about it. It makes life so much easier. You only need to cut a loaf of bread to see what I mean.
Yes.
And we've added a 4-inch paring knife. I don't know that we need to add anything else. I think we've got our bases covered.
That's a kitchen set right there. So will they be sold individually and then as a roll, or how are you retailing those?
Yes, you can buy. You'll be able to buy one. You'll be able to buy 2, 3, a whole set if you want. Yeah.
Who are you partnering with these knives? Is this like a J.A. Henkel or a Forstner, perhaps some other name that I can't think of off the top of my head?
No, they're made specifically for us. German steel. That we love. We think it's a great knife. I've been using my 7-inch Santoku for like a year and a half now, since I got the prototype. It has not failed me. I'm very happy. I've been using the chef's knife, the paring, and the serrated for probably 4 months now, since we got those prototypes. And we're super jazzed about them. We love them. We think they work great. We like the way they look. It's a good design. It's got my stupid face on the ass of the knife.
Yeah.
But maybe butt's a better word.
But
probably shouldn't say my face is on an ass of anything, but
I ask in all seriousness. This isn't like a callback to the Santoku knife, but where are the inventory levels here? Should people be on the horse for the holidays, or do you have sufficient levels?
No, we have sufficient levels, and they'll all be here in the next, I want to say 3 weeks, and then we'll be shipping like freaking crazy.
All right. So can you buy?
Can
you buy them? Because I signed up for the, alert me when the Santoku knife comes back in stock, and I never got an email.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go fire somebody tonight. They're technically not in stock yet. They should be here. The Santokus will be here in the next week and a half. Yeah.
All right. So get on board. Get the book if you haven't ordered it or pre-ordered it, of course.
Get the book. Yeah, get the book.
Get a
I
knife
ordered
or
on
two.
Kindle.
Yeah.
I have a Kindle. I've never had
Kindle.
I'm dying to see what my book looks like on Kindle. It's $24 at Amazon. It's like I think $9 on Kindle at Amazon. So, if you're a person that likes a book, you want to hold something in your hands, flip pages, then get the book.
Why don't you ship a couple out this way, and I can give them away as prizes on the show?
Tell me how many you want.
Or maybe next month we'll have like a call-in game show thing where people got to call in, and we'll make them answer stupid questions, and if they get them right, they win an autographed copy.
Okay, let me ask you this. And I'm being a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Do you want me to send you books and then you send them out? Or do you just want to give away books and I'll send them out to who wins?
Ooh, good question. Because typically...
Easy. I know how I'd answer.
All right. So can you send me books that are autographed?
Yes.
Okay, and then can you leave...
You add yours?
Can you leave enough where I can then add my autograph on your book?
What are you going to write? You're going to write.
I write. This is what I write.
Good
this
book.
Is what
I think
Hold
it's
on.
a good book,
Hold on.
but it's too close to call.
I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do because this is what happens.
Yeah.
I hate reading. I tell people all the time, don't send me a book to review. Don't send me a book to check out. I'm not going to do it. I just fucking hate reading with a passion. I can read very well. It's not my pastime, if you will, okay? However, inevitably, books land on my front porch from publishers of all varying types. So we will play games. Somebody will win that book, and I say, do you want me to sign that book? And it was like a joke. What's his name? Jamie Purviance is a well-known, he's like second down from Steven Reichland, Weber's cookbook guy. And I said, hey, send me a book if you want, and I'll sign it and send it back to you. It was like a joke. And then it caught on just like that. So every book ever that's come in, people are like, oh, will you sign BBQ's book for me? And then I always write, to Ray, please enjoy this book that I did not write. Yours, Greg. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So,
no, but if both of us sign it, then it makes it even better.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Right.
So, send them over to me.
I'll send you.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you books that just say Sam the Cooking Guy.
Yes.
Greg's an asshole.
Yes, that'll even increase the value more. That'll be great. All right.
We'll be like 75 years old at a garage sale in some part of Cleveland one day, and there will be my cookbook that's with both our signatures that says you're an asshole. It'll be like it'll have the little sticker. It'll say $2, and we'll give you $1 for it, and they'll go, okay.
Yeah. $2 OBO.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, I think Sam, you've said it all. I think you've said it all tonight. So you can find Sam right here on the first Tuesday of every month. In the meantime, you can find him over at youtube.com or thecookingguy.com, where he's releasing brand new YouTube videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we know what Friday is going to be, so we're going to look for that. Sam, always appreciate the time, and we will see you again in the beginning of December.
Thanks, buddy.
You got it. There he is.
Siri called you. Thanks, Greg Ramp.
Thanks. We're not even going to talk about Siri anymore. All right, there he is, Sam the Cooking Guy. And don't forget, you can find him over at thecookingguy.com. That's right. All right. Let's beat it out of here. Before we go, let me remind you of the Smoke Sheet, a free weekly newsletter that keeps you in the know on everything happening in the backyard and competition world and the whole barbecue world in general, including top news stories, events, recipes, and more. Ryan Cooper and Sean Ludwig doing that deal. Go to bbqnewsletter.com to sign up. A great all-in-one resource for the live fire industry. Thanks again to Sam the Cooking Guy, thecookingguy.com. Head on over to YouTube and subscribe to him if you are not already. And we will be getting books to give away here on this show, dual autographed. That's going to be fun. Big show planned for you next week, as I had already mentioned. Meathead in for the first hour, of course. And then we have Cosmo from Cosmo's Q. And Ted Conrad will close out the show next week, talking a little Fireboard too. No update as we head off to the air. So it is Joe Biden at 209 electoral votes. Donald Trump with 118 electoral votes. Still too close to call as we remove ourselves from the barbecue airwaves. September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe. Good night now.